Hey guys, Wrestling Throwdown here. I'm Kaylee, and Joe is actually doing Strike Zone right now, I believe. So he can't be on tonight. Sorry about that. But it was a pretty it was there was some good matches. It was pretty short though. I feel like it was shorter either that or my notes. I just didn't take that many notes. But there was some really good matches, especially the main event. The main event was very, very good. But let's get started here. Um, Sergeant Christopher versus DJ Ion, and Sergeant Christopher wins. The guy who is pretty much, I feel like they pretty much based him off of, what's his name? Zach Gowen, that WWE had once before. I have nothing against the guy. It's great that, he fought for our country. I respect that and everything. I just, nothing against him personally, but I just think TNA is just, I don't know. I don't know if they're just trying to just do anything to get ratings, or I'm not really sure. And I'm not sure if that whole, national anthem thing was for 9/11. That's obviously today, but it was 9/10 obviously yesterday. Or if that's specifically for him to make his entrance every time. I'm not really sure. But I guess we'll have to see next week if he uses it next week too. Just a basic match though. He won. And he actually he had two legs instead of just not having his prosthetic leg put in like Zach Gowen did. He just hopped around on one leg. He actually had a prosthetic leg, and so I guess there is a difference there. But yeah, that's that. Bobby Roode comes out. And he just pretty much talks about his title match, and then he's excited and that he can't wait to be champion again. And then, of course, MVP, Kenny King and Lashley come out. And they say that this isn't a movie. He's actually living in reality. It's not, no happily ever afters for you, Bobby Roode. That's pretty much what they said. And they said if he's lucky, he'll have a short hospital stay. And Bobby Roode talks about how he respects Bobby Lashley because he doesn't see fear in his eyes. And that he knows that he's going to be, a tough competitor, and that he's going to have to work for this and everything like that. And he knows how strong Bobby Lashley is. And he says, unlike you, MVP, I see fear in your eyes when you look at me. I know you're afraid of me, and blah, blah, blah. And pretty much they all attack Bobby Roode. And then Samoa Joe and Eric Young come out. And they make it a 6-man tag team match. Babyfaces versus heels, obviously. And obviously the babyfaces win. It was a decent match. It wasn't bad or anything like that. Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley are facing for the title, for the TNA title championship next week. So obviously we'll talk more about the tag team later because that's the main event. So obviously they're not going to have the next segment sequence, I guess, of the tag team championships until probably the following week, because that was definitely a main event. I don't think they would have two huge matches like that. I don't think they're pay-per-view. They're supposed to be having the pay-per-view pretty soon. I don't know if they're supposed to have one in October, in September. I know their big one's coming up in October. I don't know if they're going to have one though in September. They really haven't had a pay-per-view in a while, so I don't know if they're going to have one before their big one, or they're just going to make some of these weekly shows just like one main event or something. They kind of just do that now since they don't really do pay-per-views except for Bound for Glory. So they pretty much just use their the show pretty much for their I'm trying to think, for their for their title defenses, So obviously they're not going to have some kind of huge pay-per-view that's going to be, if they do have a pay-per-view, it's obviously going to be on television. It's obviously going to be taped and everything like that, like they're doing for Bound for Glory. That's actually going to be taped in Japan anyway, so. But I think you still have to pay for it. Actually, I think it still is going to be on a Sunday, and obviously I'm not paying for it. Obviously, I'm going to watch it on stream. But there you go. And Samoa Joe, I'm not sure what they're doing with him. I really, really hope that they do not have him beat Bobby Lashley. I hope that he doesn't, eventually face Bobby Lashley and beat him, because Samoa Joe is not the right person for that. Bobby Roode needs to beat him. Bobby Roode is the one person that makes sense for this, because obviously Bobby Lashley beat Eric Young, so Eric Young's out of the picture. The only other person I can maybe see other than Bobby Roode is Austin Aries. But Austin Aries seems to be doing his own little thing with James Storms right now. So really the only person who I see that's presentable for this is Bobby Roode, because not only is he the longest reigning TNA champion ever in history, but he also has been having, the feuds with, MVP and all that. So because MVP got him fired and, laid him off for, I don't know, what was it, 6 weeks, 9 weeks, something like that. But yeah, he was out for a couple of months. And so obviously it would make sense for him to take his revenge and beat Bobby Lashley soon. But who knows if that's going to happen. I have a bad feeling that they're going to make Samoa Joe beat Bobby Lashley, and I do not want to see that. No offense to anyone who likes Samoa Joe or anything like that, but it's just... I've seen enough of Samoa Joe. It's just like, let the younger talent, shine. It's almost like, how some people feel about John Cena. That's how I feel about Samoa Joe. It's just like, I'm just bored of him. I'm sick of him. He needs to just go away. Not trying to be mean or anything, but he really is. I'm just getting sick of him. Next segment, I actually want to apologize about this. Next segment, Gunnar and Brittany are backstage, and she pretty much asked him if Samuel Shaw has seen anyone. I know last week I said I didn't know who the girl was, some random girl. I'm so sorry. I knew it was Brittany. I had to think for a minute. I'm just like, it has to be someone. And because I didn't see it, Brittany hasn't really been on TV in a while. I guess that's why, especially since she's pretty new to the roster. I mean, Havoc's the only newest one other than her. So I guess that's maybe why I didn't recognize her at first. But yeah, it is Brittany. It's kind of interesting. I actually kind of like this. Brittany and Samuel Shaw, I'm actually kind of feeling this. I wonder what they're going to do with this. Obviously, Samuel Shaw might be turning heel soon, and maybe they'll do something with it. Who knows? Obviously, that Christy Hemme's out of the picture. They haven't done anything with Christy Hemme lately or anything with him, so that's completely done. So, who knows? I mean, I'm kind of feeling it. I kind of would like to see him with a girl, It's kind of interesting, something different, But we will see what they do with that. That's pretty much the only thing that happens, though. Samuel Shaw is not even there tonight, and Gunnar, that's the only thing that happens with him. They don't have no match or anything like that, and Brittany doesn't go and talk to him later on in backstage or anything like that. So, obviously, we have to wait till next week to see if that progresses anymore, but we will see. Next, the Lingerie versus Robbie E, Jesse, and Velvet Sky. So yeah, the girl that my brother said she used to be I think a Dallas cheerleader. He said, I don't know, the girl that's that does the splits and everything. But I thought that was interesting seeing her wrestle and see what she has. But it was a very entertaining match. I actually liked this match. I know a lot of people might just, kind of like when WWE has those kind of like, just for fun matches, but a lot of people hate them. TNA's entertaining matches are actually really enjoyable. Like, they're really different from WWE's because they don't like make it look like stupid and everything like that. They actually like really make it like enjoyable. I don't know really how to explain it, but Crazy Steve, obviously, he's a very enjoyable character. He's kind of a maniac, and he kisses Velvet Sky, obviously. He starts making out with her, which was hilarious. And but they still won. Robbie E, Jesse, and Velvet Sky still won after all this. It's funny because the Lingerie, they made them like look so good at first when they first came in. You would think that these guys would actually be really good, and they've been kind of on a losing streak lately. Pretty much everyone's beaten them. I'm not really sure what's up with that. It's just like, well, why'd you bring Mike Knox back if you're just going to, like, job him? It's just like you should have just released him. I mean, you were already having, problems paying people, and then you're still adding people, like Jessica Havoc and everything like that. So I don't know why they would do that if they're just going to job him. I don't know. I mean, obviously they need jobbers. Like WWE needs jobbers. That's why they're keeping, Titus O'Neil, no offense, and Heath Slater, I hate to say these, and Damian Sandow, all that, and Zack Ryder. But that's obviously why they're keeping them, because they obviously need jobbers, and they need, like, Adam Rose to be still undefeated. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. It's just WWE can afford it, but TNA, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me why they would, like, bring this guy back, give him a cool gimmick and everything like that, put him with a girl and a crazy clown and, like, a big tough guy who's actually, shoot, I forgot his name. He is a WWE guy, though, too. Or he was a TNA guy back in the past. I'll let you guys know next week. But, yeah, they're all pretty much people that were already wrestlers or something along the lines. Crazy Steve is somebody, too. I forgot who he was, too. I'll let you guys know next week. I forgot about this. So I'll write it down next week. I'll take some notes and so I can remember. My memory is not very good, so... But anyways, Kurt Angle comes to the ring, and he pretty much says that he's really enjoying the talent and that everyone's working hard and that he really likes, everyone there except for one guy. And obviously it's EC3. He tells EC3 to come down to the ring, and EC3 comes out. And EC3 talks about how he's not going to stop, he's not going to calm down and stop this violent streak that he has, kind of like Randy Orton, until he gets what he wants. He, talks about how his Aunt Dixie got put through a table and they didn't do anything to stop Bully Ray, and there was no, pretty much, and nothing taken by that, no one did anything about it. And he says he holds everyone accountable for it. Now, Spud is nowhere to be found today. I think that's interesting. I don't know if they're going to try and play it out like he got hurt from Rhino or what, but the thing is I think he might actually, when he comes back, he might actually help Rhino and turn on EC3. Who knows, though? We'll see. I definitely don't see Spud staying with EC3 for very much longer at all. But anyways, he pretty much just says, there was more you can't wrestle chance, too. This really pisses me off. I don't know why they're saying you can't wrestle to him, because it's funny because after this they made a match with Rhino versus EC3 in a street fight, which obviously EC3 wins, and they were cheering for him, and they were for him and everything like that. It's just like, so you're gonna cheer a guy that you say that he can't wrestle? Like, that makes no sense. Obviously, I know they're trying to just get under his skin, but even then, like, usually, like, heels and stuff like that, like, I mean, they don't shout it to Seth Rollins. I mean, they say, he's a sellout and everything like that to get, heat under him and everything like that. But they don't say you can't wrestle. So I don't know. They need to say something else if they really want to get heat, because obviously they like him. They obviously know he can wrestle. So I just don't get the whole you can't wrestle chance. It just doesn't make sense. It's stupid. I mean, obviously you can do that to someone who can't wrestle, but obviously if you're going to cheer for the guy and then still say he can't wrestle, then it just makes no sense to me. And Kurt Angle pretty much talks about how he's not dressed to wrestle, and so that's why he puts him in a street fight, obviously. But he also talks about how EC3, hurt him and, made him have surgery and everything like that, and says he has not forgot about that and he is going to kick his ass one day. Obviously, Kurt Angle's obviously not just going to give up. I think the WWE thing's out of the picture, like I said. The whole Triple H and Kurt Angle thing, they're having a problem right now, fighting and everything like that. So I don't see Kurt Angle going to WWE. But it's just like, he seriously, like, he needs to just finish up with his little GM duties, and then I think he needs to just retire. I love Kurt Angle. I mean, it's nothing against the guy or anything like that, but he's already had so many injuries and stuff like that. It's like Edge, Edge had to retire, Stone Cold had to retire. When you have so many injuries and you have so many surgeries and stuff like that, there's really no point. I mean, your body can't take it anymore. It's just like that should be like a key thing right there to say, you know what, maybe I need to retire. And it's not like the guy's young. I could see if maybe he was still 30 or something like that, but he's like late 40s now, I think. So obviously he doesn't have anything in him. Because what's going to happen? I mean, his neck is on like needle and thread right now. I mean, it's completely like, what's going to happen? He's going to get in the ring, something's going to happen, and that's going to be the end. What is he going to do? Break his neck? I mean, he already broke his neck, obviously, but I mean, like, what if something really bad happens, you know, and he's going to regret doing that, because then he's going to be like, you know, what if he's going to be paralyzed for life? I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, say horrible things or anything, but it's just like, I think this, if it was me, I'd be like, well, you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry, you know, and that's kind of like what Edge did. You know, he had retired. They said, you know, you better retire or something worse is going to happen. You could be, you know, paralyzed for the rest of your life. That's kind of how I feel with Kurt Angle. Like, he needs to just stop and not wrestle anymore. I mean, it's fine if he wants to work in the back and do still stuff with wrestling. That's fine and everything. But he needs to hang up his boots. He really does. It worries me, and it makes me very scared for him if he actually gets back in the ring again, because who knows what's going to happen. But anyways, next, 2015 cover girl calendar. And me and my brother actually thought this was going to be Terrence Terrell. I was actually shocked it wasn't. Angelina Love pretty much thinks it's her, and she's just like, oh, we already know who it's going to be. And it's actually Velvet Sky, which was pretty funny. Even though Velvet Sky is supposed to be leaving soon, so is Bully Ray. I don't know if next week's supposed to be the last week or what. Because if Bully Ray is going to be leaving soon, they probably need to wrap up the tag team thing in the next 2 weeks, because this is not good. I actually did hear, though, that Bully Ray is thinking about maybe resigning. He is thinking, that is what my rumor website said, cageseats.com. If you guys want to check it out. It is a very good website. 90% of the time their rumors are turned to the truth, at least 90% of the time. Something along the lines is the truth for their rumors. But they really know their stuff. They actually get backstage stuff, and they find out stuff. But they did say that there has been talk that he's thinking about re-signing, so who knows? Maybe maybe Velvet Sky, maybe she'll re-sign too, who knows? But I do think that's funny. Maybe that's why, you know, they made her cover girl calendar, because, you know, this is her last time, so maybe that was like her reward. Who knows? But Havoc comes out, and I heard this girl was great. She's a lot of people like her from the indies. I actually never seen her wrestle, but I heard a great talk about her, Jessica. Yeah, I heard a lot of people really, really like her. So she looks like a monster. She looks crazy good. I'm very excited to see her. But Gail tries to attack her, and she attacks Brittany and Gail, and she takes the title and leaves. So obviously we know who's going to beat Gail in the next few weeks, month, whatever. Obviously it's going to be her. But anyways, I really do like this girl, though. I really think she's got a lot of potential, and that's like what I said about TNA, you know. They don't care about the looks. I mean, this girl has a half-shaved head, you know. They don't care about, you know, who's beautiful and who's not. They care about wrestling ability, and that's what I like about that. Except for WWE, you know, they just pick out models from the catalog, and it just drives me nuts. But anyways, James Storms, he asks why Manic wears a mask. He's, you know, they're in his little cabin house, whatever it is, his little torture chamber. I don't know what they call it. But he asks Manic why he wears a mask, and he starts tearing it off his face, and he tells the camera to get out of his face. It's like we've never seen Manic without a mask before. We've seen him without a mask. He's that young dude. I forgot what his name is, too. I think it's like TJ something. But, yeah, they act like we've never seen him without a mask before. It's pretty funny, but it's ridiculous. He actually did not come out with them, though, during the match, because right after this, there's a tag team match with James Storms and Sonata versus Aries and Jerry. And James Storms is obviously not injured. I told you guys last week I was going to find some information to see if James Storms was injured, why he's, you know, in this whole storyline thing, why he hasn't been in the ring in like so many months. He isn't obviously injured, obviously, as you can tell, and obviously I didn't find anything on it, so when I see him, I'm like, oh, okay. Obviously, they're just trying to make a stable with him. And he's pretty much, he is just their manager, and he is trying to, they probably aren't going to have him wrestle that much. This is the first match he's wrestled, actually, since he's, made this stable. So he's probably only going to wrestle if for special occasions. But once he has probably more people in his group, obviously, like, Manic wasn't ready yet. So obviously, if it was a tag team, he had to join, obviously. But, like, if they have another tag team, Manic's probably going to be with Sonata, and he's just going to watch from the sideline. So obviously this guy is not, they're not really going to have him probably wrestle that much. So probably, obviously, he's just their manager, their boss, kind of. He will wrestle probably if they need him to, but it's interesting. I don't know if it's just like the creative doesn't have anything for him, or if they're just trying something different with him. I like it, though, because I'm not a fan of James Storms. It's pretty funny because my brother used to argue with me when James Storms and Bobby Roode split up. I'm like, good. I always liked Bobby Roode way better than James Storms. He's just like, no, James Storms is the one that's way better. And it's funny to see how these guys, they actually really progress. James Storm only had the title for, I don't know how long. What was it, like a month only? I don't even think he had it for a month. I think he only had it for like a week. I don't know. I can't remember. He had it for a very short amount of time. That was when I kind of stopped watching TNA for a little bit, so I can't really remember. But, and Bobby Roode, obviously, longest reigning TNA champ. So I always knew that Bobby Roode was going to be way more successful than James Storms. And I don't know, there's just something about him. I really don't think that he was really a main event star, really. I'm not saying he was a bad wrestler or anything like that. It's like what me and Joe keep saying. Not everybody can be a main eventer. Not everybody, And like I said with Adrian Neville, I like the guy, but not everybody can. Or I don't like the guy. I'm sorry, I don't like the guy, but I mean I like his wrestling ability. I don't think he's bad or anything like that. But he can't. Not everyone can be a main eventer, And it doesn't mean that you're a bad wrestler, But that's kind of how I feel with James Storm. So I'm kind of glad that they're doing this with him, having him work with, it looks like I said last week, the X Division. Obviously, Pitcher kind of, because obviously he's taking 2 out of the X Division. So it looks like he's going to be working on that. So I kind of like that. I'm kind of feeling for that. I think that could be actually really good. And it's kind of interesting because the X Division does not have very many heels at all. So maybe that's why they wanted to do this. Maybe they thought, gee, we really need to turn like 3 or 4 guys heel right now for the X Division, but what are we going to do? Like turn one right after another each week? I'm like, they probably think that's stupid. Well, then maybe we can, have James Storms, and, they probably thought about this whole thing, which is very creative. I really like this, having each guy, turn heel, but have him join their group instead of just like being like, oh, heel turn this week, oh, heel turn next week, It would just get boring and tiring after a while, I like how they're doing this. This is very creative. But they faced Aries versus Tajiri. Tajiri is a crazy, crazy, crazy man. I love him. I'm so excited that he's wrestling again. He is like 43, 44, but I still, this guy is crazy. I love him. But, Sonata and James Storms win, of course. They're obviously going to put them on a winning streak because if they don't, James Storms is going to feel like he, failed, and obviously they're not going to have him fail just quite yet. This group is, I can definitely see being powerful, being, one of the top groups, definitely having potential in it. So I definitely see them being on an undefeated streak for a while. I definitely see them doing something big with us for a while, at least for a few months. Then we see Gail Kim attacking Havoc, and they just start going crazy on each other, and refs pulling them out. She just starts choke slamming guys too. Jessica Havoc, it was so great. So great. This woman's crazy. But Battle Royal next week to pretty much who's the number 1 contender for the knockouts. Obviously Havoc's going to win this. I don't see any other person winning it. She's obviously going to win it. And this could actually be a very good field because they're not making Gail Kim look weak. I mean, they were for a little bit, But this, when Gail Kim was attacking Havoc, this actually made her look strong, and it made her look like these two could actually have a great, great match. You know, it's not going to be like a squash match, you know, like the Brock Lesnar and John Cena thing. This is actually going to be a great match. And a great feud, hopefully, too, kind of like, you know, Paige and AJ. So I think TNA and WWE are both doing good for their title pictures for the Divas right now, for their knockouts in the Divas. I think they're both doing a great job with that. And last but not least, the main event. I feel like this show's gone by way too fast, but it wasn't. Like I said, I feel like nothing pretty much happened last night. It was a good show. It's not like it was a bad show or anything like that. It was just, I feel like it was short. But maybe way too many commercials. I don't know. The Wolves versus the Hardys versus Team 3D, and this was a tables match. This was an amazing match. Great, great match. I don't know. I guess I was expecting more craziness to it, but I don't know. I thought it was great. At one time, Jeff Hardy actually turned the table on the opposite side so the metal was showing, and I thought they were going to like do something like power slam someone through it. I thought it was going to be crazy. I thought someone's back was going to be gushing out at the end of the night. But obviously, they turned it over. Obviously, that was going to be way dangerous. Too dangerous, I guess. But I think it still would have been great if we could have seen that. But it was still a great match. Hardys won, and I actually thought the Hardys were going to win. I actually expected them to win. And they made the next match a ladder match. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is going to be next week because Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley versus Bobby Lashley for the TNA title, that's going to be next week for their main event. So, and I think this is definitely a main event, a match material. So I really think they need to wait till the following week to do this. Because they didn't do it last week anyways. They didn't do, you know, they skipped a week and then they did it this week. So I think they need to skip a week again and then do it. You know, but the only bad thing about that is Bully Ray. So they either need to finish this off and have the Hardys win, or I really don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how much they taped before Bully Ray left, but the Wolves are going to have to win 2 matches. So, and obviously, I don't think Team 3D is obviously going to win. So it's either going to be the Wolves and or the Hardys. So either the Hardys are going to win, which I think is a good possibility, or Team 3D is going to have to win next week and the next one after that. But like I said, it depends on Bully Ray, how much they tape beforehand and what Bully Ray's doing. Bully Ray pretty much, I mean, not trying to be mean about Bully Ray, but he pretty much just kind of put this whole thing up in the air. And Davey Richards did it once too, but obviously his leg's fine, and they overreacted, I guess. They thought it was way worse than what it actually is. It's actually funny. I hope he's watching this, but my friend Ben, who's in the group, he's actually a good friend of Joe's. I've been starting to talk to him quite a bit. He actually told me that he didn't believe me and Joe about how Davey Richards is an asshole in real life. And he says he just got done reading this article, and I think it was like top 5 biggest assholes that are wrestlers or something like that in the wrestling business or something, and he said Davey Richards was on that list. So obviously that proves my point, mine and Joe's point, that Davey Richards is an asshole. And we both feel bad for Eddie Edwards. We really do. I feel very bad for him that he has to deal with him. Hopefully that's why I kind of hope the Hardys win, so then they can split them up and go their separate way, and hopefully Eddie Edwards can outshine Davey Richards, but we will see. I do want to talk to you guys about a few things first. I'm going to watch NXT TakeOver right after I get done with this, and then I'm going to be doing NXT TakeOver tomorrow, the review, tomorrow with Michael Miner. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the schedule. As you guys know, if you guys did not hear, if you're not, friends with me on Facebook, I did get a job. I'm so excited. They called me out of nowhere. It was crazy. I'm not going to take up too much of your time because this is a wrestling review. You don't want to hear about my personal life. But they called me out of nowhere. I put in the application like a month ago, and I did an interview like 3 weeks ago. They told me they would call me like the next day, and they just called me like 3 weeks after 3 weeks. And so I almost gave up hope, but it was pretty awesome. They just called me out of nowhere. But I got the job, and I'm starting tomorrow. So, and I'm also going back to school in 2 weeks. I'm going to try and stay consistent as I can with the schedule and with Joe and everything like that. But if I have to get rid of one show, it's probably going to be SmackDown. Just because I've noticed the views are not good on it. And nothing really big happens on SmackDown. I might do SmackDown once in a while, maybe if there's like a big event or something like that. But that's just if I need to do it, if like my schedule's getting too crazy and if I can't take it. But as for right now, I am still continuing with all of them, and I'm continuing back with NXT this week because now I got the network. So I am still going to be doing, you know, Raw, SmackDown, TNA, of course. TNA I'm not getting rid of at all because this is our biggest views, and NXT. And then plus we're going to be doing a prediction show and pay-per-views. So, which we're probably going to be doing our prediction show next week. Obviously, probably on like, I'm thinking on Wednesday or something like that. We're probably going to do the prediction show. I'll have to check which show, though, about that. But look forward to that. Hopefully, you know, this won't happen. Hopefully, you know, I can still continue doing all this. You know, if I have to just drop 1 or 2 shows, then I will. If I can't do, you know, every show every week or something like that, or if I have to combine, you know, that's fine too. I'll keep you guys updated and everything, but it should be fine. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to thumbs up that video, subscribe to us, and follow us on Twitter, and join our Facebook group. I will put all the links in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a fabulous day. I'll see you in the next one.